Today, I want to talk to you about something I was talking to our team about, and it really hit home. We were talking about what's out there in the marketplace, how people are feeling, and the other things we discussed inside of our success driven community. And I thought about something. One word that will separate you from everybody else: authenticity. Now, I'm sure you've been hearing a lot about that lately, and if you haven't, that is the gold nugget. That is the diamond. That is what's going to put you over the top from everybody else. See, here's the things we were talking about. Here's the things we really recognized. As we were putting down, and we have a brainstorming session every Saturday, our team does. And we're looking at the different things as far as what is the market, looking at what do people need, because we always want to make sure we're addressing what people need. And guess what I found out? People are, for the most part, being led astray. And maybe it's not intentional, but let me tell you why this happens. You will hear somebody that says, I'm going to show you how I made a ton of money. Okay? And I'm going to show you how I did it. And I'm going to show you the social proof of the receipts I got and how I was able to go from zero to hero in this amount of time. And all you have to do is buy my program, right? So they say, like, I'm going to show you this. What I did, here's my social proof, here's what I did, the time I did it in, here's all my testimonials, and here's my program, right? So they show you these two things, right? So let's just say these two things. These three things are the parts they leave out. They're going to show you how they did it, and they're going to show you exactly how it can happen. But what they don't tell you is that their journey is not your journey. Their resources are not your resources, and their network is not your network. So if somebody tells you they can show you how to make $100,000 in 30 days or $60,000 in 20 days or something like that, you need to ask yourself, what is the story that they had that helped them do that? What have they done prior to launching their program, their service, their product that positioned them in the space to make those numbers? A lot of times, people will tell you what they started with, what they got, and then if you do this, you'll be able to capture those results. But you can't. You can't say that because you're not them. You are you. And that's not a bad thing. That's a wonderful thing. Because their story is not your story, the same as your story is not their story. So here's a couple of things you need to do. You need to ask yourself, what is it that I'm solving? That's the one thing that you need to know if you're selling a product or service. What problem are you solving? Because if you're not solving a problem, why is somebody going to want to give you their hard-earned money? That's it. Oh, it feels good. Okay, is this? Well, then if you're saying whatever you do feels good or replaces any kind of pain, well, you're solving a problem. You're creating a pleasure point. That's solving a problem, and that's okay. But what I want to say is that you cannot get away from you. Don't try. You have a unique value proposition, and brother, sister, it's you. When I was younger, I wanted to be Spike Lee. I said, when I get out of high school, I'm going to go to college for cinematography, and I'm going to be the next Spike Lee. But what I should have said was, I want to be the next David Watts. Because what I didn't take into account was my journey is not Spike Lee's journey. I didn't grow up in New York. I didn't have those experiences to be able to make a Do the Right Thing, to make a School Days, to make a Mo Better Blues. That was not my experience. I couldn't speak from that standpoint. Tyler Perry got famous and got rich from the Medea characters. And what he said was, he was able to do that because of the experience he had around him, the women that were around him, and the environment he was raised in that contributed to that character. And to be honest, that's how I created Veressa. But Veressa is a culmination of the experiences, the men and the women that helped influence and raise me. That's authentic to me. That's who I am. Who are you? A lot of times people get coaches and they get mentors, and not saying they don't mean well, But I'm saying a coach should coach you down your own path. A coach shouldn't say, do what I do and get the results that I did. They should not try to make clones of themselves, and you shouldn't try and be a clone of your coach. Because once again, your journey is not their journey. Their vision is not your vision. No one can tell you how to execute what you can do except you who have the lived experience. Okay, you need to understand that's not a bad thing. You just need to get in a community that's going to be supportive and say, okay, what's your value proposition? Let's identify that. Who are you? We have a saying over here. We say we play to your strengths. Because if you take a fish out of water and tell it to ride a bicycle, that's not going to work, right? You've heard that analogy before. You need to do what you need to do based on the strengths and the history and the resources you have. And when I say resources, I don't always mean money. I mean who's around you to support you. Now, I am by no means, and you guys have seen me say this before, no means going to say I did this alone. I always say I'm part of half of the creative duo that brought Veressa to life. Okay? I had the idea. My wife came and gave me the details and said, okay, based upon what you've done and what you're talking about, do this, this, and this. The people that influenced me, that I pulled from, they helped contribute and create Veressa as well, years ago, before they knew they were doing that. My uncle gave me the tenacity and the desire to be an entrepreneur. And my father gave me the humor to laugh, even when it seemed like there was nothing to laugh at. And my mom gave me the love to tell me that I've got to love myself before I can love anybody else. So understand that everything that you have inside of you is equipping you for what you need to do next. You just need somebody to point it out. Come join us in Success Driven, but above all, be authentic to who you are. Because no coach, no mentor, no guru, no plan, no type of new gadget or service is going to make you or take you to where you want to go unless you first have a roadmap to who you are. Figure that out. Do what's authentically right for you, and you will blow up beyond your wildest dreams. I guarantee it. All right? For more, join us in the Success Driven community. I'm looking forward to seeing everything that you can be.